Hey, I got a story I want to bring to you out of the NBA. Woke up this morning and was whenever you're going down your timeline, you'll see the way we get our news these days. It's like not necessarily like a story and in its entirety. You'll see something along the lines of like, man, I hope that Chauncey Billups isn't guilty, right? And it's like, what is that, right? And so did a little digging. I want to share some information with you. I heard rather, this, uh, it looks like a prosecutor talking a little bit about what they are alleging took place. Now, you see here on the screen that Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups are appearing on the screen at the same time. That may be a little misleading on my part. At this point, we aren't certain that those two cases are related, right? But we know that they're both. Chauncey Billups, I believe, is a Hall of Famer or will be, and Terry Rozier is most known. I think most people remember him from playing on the Boston Celtics. Nevertheless, I'm going to get into this audio here and let you hear from the prosecutor, in his own words, kind of what they are alleging. And together, you and I will kind of paint a narrative and have a conversation about this, what's being alleged about these former, no, no, current NBA head coach and a current NBA player.
As 2019, the defendants in this case orchestrated a scheme to use wireless cheating technology to run rigged poker games across the United States, including in the Hamptons, Las Vegas, Miami, and targeted victims known as, quote, fish.
Okay.
Who were often lured to participate.
Okay.
Who were often lured to participate in these rigged games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes.
Okay.
Alongside former professional athletes.
Okay. So let's so let's set the stage here. You are scrolling on your timeline, or you are known as a poker player, or you are in, you know, gaming groups. Like, I think this was poker or Hold'em. I'm not even sure necessarily what the game is that they are playing. Nevertheless, it's a group. There is a community of professional gamblers, and what happens, what we're going to hear in a moment, is that there is a company that is going on tour with Chauncey Billups, so to speak. And so you'll have an opportunity, if you are a gambler, if you are into this particular game, whether it be poker or whether it be Texas Hold'em, or I guess that's a version of poker, you'll have a chance to play with a former NBA player. Now, as the prosecutor was talking, it sounded as though this scheme was taking place, or at least they allege it took place, in between the end of Chauncey Billups' actual playing career and before he started as a head coach. I think that's pretty important to realize. I mean, to kind of state, because, or else the question or assumption becomes, well, why the heck would a current NBA coach be also gambling on the side? Like, that just seems a little, or why would anybody be doing that? I think that's the question that we all ask, looking from the outside in. If you get an opportunity to coach in the NBA, or if you get an opportunity to be of the, one of the, 437 men that play in the NBA, why would you then go and gamble and risk it also? I think but nevertheless, I want to set the stage and make sure we're on the same page. They are going on this celebrity poker tour, right? And if you are a poker player, a professional player in this particular arena, then you'll have an opportunity to play with, Chauncey Billups and some other people. Like, you'll have an opportunity to play in this celebrity poker game. I think we've seen those on the internet before. Let's continue.
Who were known as, quote, face cards. The so-called face cards included the defendant, Chauncey Billups, who at the time of the scheme was a former NBA player and is currently the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, and also Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach. What the victims, the fish, didn't know is that everybody else at the poker game, to the players, including the face cards, were in on the scam. One
All right, it looks like we're having some glitching issues here. But I want to just make sure that we're still processing what they are alleging here. This is what is kind of the most jarring to me. This idea, this elaborate scheme is set up, and everyone is in on it. This is like a scene out of a movie, right? This is like legitimately a scene out of a movie where we're playing poker, and what this prosecutor is alleging is that not only is Chauncey Billups in on it, the dealer's in on it, the other players are in on it. And it's so crazy how the algorithm works and how things work. But not long after I came across this very video, I saw another random guy. I'm not sure if he was telling the truth or not, but I saw another random guy who was giving his account of it, and he, using my context clues, it appeared as though he was saying that he was one of those players, or he knew of one of those players. And at the time, people were kind of talking, or rumors were going around about what they were alleging. And this press conference seems to be confirming what they were alleging many years ago.
Once the game was underway, the defendants fleeced the victims out of tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars per game. The defendants used a variety of very sophisticated cheating technologies, some of which were provided by other defendants in exchange for a share of the profits from the scheme. For example, they used off-the-shelf shuffling machines that had been secretly altered in order to read the cards in the deck, predict.
This is a real life RICO situation. This is a real one. What they're alleging is that, and you're hearing it in semi-legal terms, because I'm not certain that he's using. I'm not assuming that you don't understand what he's saying, but I want to paint a more vivid picture than what he's saying. Chauncey and associates found people with devices that could be used to cheat or predict which individual had which card. And this prosecutor is alleging that they were taking tens of thousands, people were losing. And in the other video that I saw, what the gentleman was saying is that only the winners were losing. Only the professional players, were losing, And so essentially Chauncey's like, we're going to go play some poker, some celebrity poker, right? And, me and a couple of my guy friends will be playing, you and a couple other guys. We'll get some guys together. We'll play, puff a couple of cigars. And, this is my friend from high school. This is my cousin. And they aren't necessarily wealthy guys. I mean, they aren't necessarily great poker players. But, they kind of know how to play the game. They'll be playing with us. They've got some money, because everybody's not an expert poker player. But, hey, that's kind of that's the narrative. That's the story that's being told. I know these people. They play poker too. They may not be as good as I am or as good as you are, but they play. And so we all sit down. I'm Chauncey Billups. This is my classmate, and this is my cousin, and a couple other people we may know, and they're not experts, but they play the game, and then lo and behold, the only person that ends up losing tens of thousands of dollars during these exchanges is the professional poker player who wants to play alongside Chauncey Billups, and that's kind of what ends up happening. So it's a crazy, crazy scheme. But let me know what you think. I'm also going to share this video and let you know where you can check out this entire press conference. Very, very interesting. And as I get more information, about what's going on here with Chauncey and Terry,